When I arrived in Calgary, I was sort of like in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So I was the one-eyed man who was an Olympic champion, had spent several years competing at Olympic Games, 3 Olympic Games, was the director of the federal government sports program, and now was the new dean of kinesiology, or physical education as we call it then, at the university. So they approached me and said, you need to help us. We have to figure out how to do this. You've got the Olympics, at least some Olympic background, and so on and so forth. So I again originally said no, I was too busy. I just started, I was teaching, I was trying to get my mind around being a dean of faculty and so on. But again, they persisted, and I eventually decided a couple of months later that this was something that I could make a contribution to, and it was really important to do so for the sport community in Calgary. The International Olympic Committee had their session in Baden-Baden in Germany in September of 1981. And we, of course, were there were 2 other bidding cities, Falun, Sweden, and Cortina, Italy, and ourselves. And we had obviously had to produce a sort of a business plan for what we were doing, and had to lobby and going out and get people to know and meet us. We had invited a number of international federation people and IOC members to Calgary to see what we had to offer and to experience the enthusiasm and the interest we had. So we made a 30-minute presentation, had 15 minutes of questions, and left the room, and the other 2 bidding cities had their opportunity to make the presentation. At the end of that day, the IOC, on the first vote, awarded the games to Calgary. And so we were in it for the next 7 years. The games in Calgary probably left the greatest Olympic legacy that was well planned and well thought out of any legacy of any games ever. And in this case, it was absolutely paramount as a purpose of our games is to make sure that we weren't just having it for an event, we were having it to leave a legacy of sport facilities. So we built a number of facilities even closer to Calgary, which was a great advantage for organizing the games. We had the alpine skiing out on Nikiska, and we had all the Nordic events out at Canmore. And it was tremendously brilliant, because I think the Canmore Nordic Center is probably considered the finest Nordic training center in the world, with its facilities, its trails, its grooming, its snow, and whatever that the athletes just constantly rave at. What an incredible opportunity that is. It was such a different pleasure of being inducted into the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame, just simply because it was your own family, your own friends, your own province, and it was very special. It wasn't going to some other province and receiving an award where you knew nobody in the audience, even though the award was very much appreciated. In this case, it was even more so because of the environment.